What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week so far. Your boy is still on the cruise ship. I mean, I'm having a fantastic time. We're touring all through the UK, but I cannot wait to make it back home. I had a massage booked for today, and would you believe it? It's my luck that the massage I booked with the finest girl masseuse on the cruise ship, she got overbooked and no more openings. But it is what it is. We're having a great time, and it's going to be an even better time this Saturday at UFC 317. Guys, I think this is probably going to be one of the better cards since UFC 300. Definitely the card of the summer, and we've had a lot of excellent cards leading up to this moment, but I think this one is going to set the tone. And I don't normally do pre-fight videos. I usually wait till after the fight to kind of go over things, but this one is so big. There's so many names on it, names that even the most casual fans would probably know, and so I think it's important to kind of talk about it. There's a lot at stake on this card for a lot of fighters. Not that there isn't a lot at stake in other fights, but this is an interesting one, and I really want to talk about it with you guys. So I'm going to add timestamps in this video for the sake of keeping you guys engaged and keeping you here with us throughout the video. So if there's one fight that you're more excited to see than the other, or more curious about my thoughts than the other, go to the description, click the timestamps, jump ahead, skip back. Starting off on the main card, Paulo Costa versus Kopylov got canceled. That would have been a great one to see. But Payton Talbott versus Lima. Talbott's last fight was a bit of a disappointment, wasn't it? Like, we had built up Cameron Simon a lot. And I think that Cameron Simon is still going to be a good prospect moving forward. He's gotten a few losses now back-to-back with Malcolm Wellmaker, Payton Talbott. But Payton Talbott shaves the head, loses a little bit of aura in my opinion, but whatever. He's a weird dude. And he just got beat up. Not like cut up and hurt really bad, but it just looked like mentally he had gotten beat up pretty bad in his last fight. So I think one of the biggest corrections for Payton Talbott, he's got to work on some of that wrestling, but also the mentality thing. In this sport, mentality is one of the biggest pieces that you can have as a fighter to succeed, to win these fights, to keep moving through the ranks. Whenever the fight's not going your way in round 1 and 2, do you have a deep enough bag that you can pull into in round 3 to find a victory? So we're going to see if Payton Talbott can bounce back. I know he can, but we're just going to see what's going to happen here. This is going to be a tough fight. I'm seeing a lot of people pick Lima for this fight. I like Payton Talbott coming back off of the loss and getting a win. Moving up the card, Money Moicano versus Dariush. For those of you who know, this fight has been in the making for a long time. I believe Dariush fell out in his last fight, and Islam's opponent fell out, and so Moicano fought Islam. I probably butchered that, but it's something along the lines of that scenario that happened. And you know, at the time when Moicano was supposed to fight Dariush, I was a little worried because I knew Moicano was good, but like I didn't know he was like good. You know, like when I guess the Benoit Saint Denis fight kind of showed me how legit Moicano is. Like, Benoit Saint Denis is no slouch. I do think he's got incredibly low fight IQ, especially in his stand-up game, but he's extremely dangerous. And dude, I like Benoit Saint Denis if he can just tweak a few things, become a little bit more responsible defensively. I like BSD to actually be a contender in the top 5 within the next couple years if he can clean that up. But yeah, when Moicano got that win, that's when I knew that we were working with something. That fight against Islam, I know that was not the outcome that Moicano desired or wished for. Like, it's tough. You know, you fight him on short notice. You're preparing for another opponent, and you fight the pound for pound number 1, or however you rank him. You know, in my opinion, I like Islam as the 1 or 2. that's a tough night out for anybody. And I think Dariush has kind of been on the decline, getting finished. It's crazy, man, because this sport is all about opportunity. It's all about being at the right place in the right time, because you can be a guy like Beneil Dariush that's on this crazy win streak, and then you get finished a couple times, and then it's like, damn, where do I fit in all this? You know, Dariush was this close to getting a title shot like a year ago, year and a half, 2 years ago. I like Moicano winning this fight against Dariush. I think that he's going to be too skilled on the ground. Dariush does well on the ground. I don't think he wants to do that with Moicano. And if it's just a stand and bang, I tend to kind of favor Moicano in that matchup. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about that one. Moicano has proven me wrong time and time again. I mean, there's been some matchups that really scared me for him, and then he goes out and he dominates, right? I didn't think he was going to get past Jalen Turner. So I like Money Mike in this one. Moving on up to Brandon Royval versus Van. Yeah, Van. The Van that literally just fought the other day. This is a very dangerous fight for him. One, it's like, dude, you just fought. But back to what I was saying a minute ago, like, these are the things that you have to do or should be willing to do to put yourself into a position to get yourself up the ladder and a potential #1 contender shot, a title shot. Like, it's not so much about the win streaks. You guys know this. It's not about all the names that you've beaten. It's about, are you willing to say yes to a short notice fight? Are you willing to be a backup fighter? And when you do those things and you go and you win, good things happen for these guys and women that do this. But look, Van is a badass. I think he's put a lot of the MMA world on red alert recently with this last win that he's got. But Brandon Royval is nasty, dude. Like, Pantoja is the greatest in that division. I don't think anyone's going to knock him off. We'll get to that here in just a second. But Brandon Royval was hanging in there with Pantoja. I mean, these guys were beating the shit out of each other. I mean, it was a really, really good fight. And some of these fighters just possess that thing that kind of just pushes them to push past all the pain, push past the fatigue, and dig deep into their bag. And Royval's got that. He's got that gene in him. I saw it in the Pantoja fight. I think Royval has been in there against the tougher guys. He's had the 5-round fights before. Not that this is a 5-round fight, but he's had all this championship caliber experience. He's been in there against the tougher competition. I like Brandon Royval in this fight, but it would not surprise me in the least if Van is able to get the win here. Not sure what the live odds are. I might post it right here. But I would think Van would be an underdog. Moving right on up to the man, the myth, the legend. Speaking of the devil, Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. Kai Kara-France has been a guy that has been on my radar, your radar. Like, we've all been seeing him stacking up some quality wins. He's very aggressive. Whenever some guys, I always say this, I say it in a lot of my videos, some guys in this sport that is so violent where everybody's trying to kill each other, there are guys amongst those guys that swing with even nastier intention. They're even meaner. Kai Kara-France is absolutely one of those guys. And his last fight, he got the finish over Urseg, I believe it was. And Urseg had just had a really competitive, close fight with Pantoja. I was thinking that I was looking for Urseg to get the win, maybe stack 2 more wins in a row. One if it was really good, and then get that shot again, just because he had come from so far down in the rankings. But man, Kai Kara-France put him away, and I believe he's earned this shot. This division is one of those divisions where it's like, the reason these lower ranked guys, not that they're lower ranked, but not the 1, 2, 3, 4 guys are getting title shots, is because Pantoja is clearing this division. You know, all these fighters, your Islams of the world, your Ilia Topurias, are moving up and wanting to get this double champ status, wanting to claim the 2 belts. If there's anybody, this is a hot take, but it shouldn't be. If there's any fighter in the UFC that deserves to go up and to get a big fight, like against Merab, it's Pantoja. He's a monster. And I don't see Kai Kara-France getting it done against Pantoja. He's just too dominant. If he's getting beat up a little bit on the feet, he will take it to the ground, and he will get dominant position over you and look for a finish. On to the main event of the evening. Charles Oliveira versus Ilia El Matador Topuria. There's a lot we can say about this one. I think everyone, or at least a lot of people, are looking at Ilia Topuria as a world beater. And it's because of his confidence, and not just the confidence, but what he's been able to do in the cage, his body of work so far. People are going as far to jump on the wagon and say that he is going to go up to 170 and get that belt too. I'm going to be the first one to tell you right now, that's never going to happen. And I may have to eat crow for this. It's actually very likely that I will, and I'm more than glad to do it. We all have to eat a little crow sometimes. But I don't know that Ilia gets the lightweight belt. I don't know that he claims the 155-pound belt, much less the 170. Now I know that Charles Oliveira has that Muay Thai stance. He's going to walk forward. He's extremely defensively irresponsible at times. However, I did like most keyword, of his Michael Chandler fight. He was a lot more, it seemed like a lot more responsible with the tight guard. Not a ton of shots were getting through until the 5th. And that's the thing with Charles. I just don't know that I can say that Topuria doesn't hurt Charles at some point in this fight. However, Charles Oliveira's recovery is world class, and I dare to say probably the best in the UFC. He's got that gene where it doesn't matter how hurt he is, he's going to find a way. I think his poorest performance in recent memory was against Islam, but it's Islam. Like, if he gets you down, he's going to finish the job. I think if Topuria hurts him, which I believe he will, I believe he'll do the same. I believe he'll finish him. He'll jump on and get it done. But something in me just will not accept that. And of course it's because I'm biased. Of course it's because I'm a Du Bronx fan. But it's also because Ilia is unproven at 155. His only fight at 155 in the UFC, he got caught and he got dropped, didn't he? And yes, he did go on to win that fight. I understand that. But, you know, Ilia says that he walks around between 175 and 179. I'm not saying he's lying, but man, that's mighty big for a guy that's 5'7". Just for reference, I am 5'7", and I walk around at 142 pounds. I've got like a decent athletic build. Like, I'm not like, you know, I'm not like super skinny. I'm not super fat. I got a decent athletic build. I would assume that Ilia carries a lot more muscle than I do, but 30 pounds? So I don't know if that's true. And I say that to say this. Charles Oliveira is a big lightweight. Charles Oliveira is a bigger lightweight. And we've heard Justin say it. We've seen it. Charles Oliveira hits really, really hard. The pressure is going to be different. And again, I will come back. I will eat crow. But my bold prediction for this fight is that Ilia Topuria is going to get put to sleep from some kind of choke. I believe he's going to get submitted. And I don't believe that Ilia will win the lightweight strap, because I don't believe he gets past Arman. I might be the biggest hater in the world. And that's okay. You know, sometimes we all have to be made a believer out of. I think I said that right. You know, a lot of people doubted Conor when he was coming up. It's just, you know, with Conor, and I'll wrap up. We've already been going for 16 minutes. With Conor, he beat an Aldo that was like on an unbeaten streak for 10 years. With Conor, he went up and beat a very, very dangerous Eddie Alvarez. Ilia beat Volk, who had already been finished twice. Or, I'm sorry, he had lost twice, been finished once. And an older Volk. Jose Aldo was still in his prime. And Jose Aldo is still a badass. I don't know. That's the comparisons we're drawing, so that's why I mentioned that. But we will see. It's going to be a very interesting fight. And the cool thing is when these guys get locked in a cage, no lies can be told. Everything's going to come to light, and we'll all get to see it firsthand.